Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Crown Euro Cars in Pinellas Park, Florida, because guess what? We have the all-new GLS 450 4MATIC. So let's talk a little bit about the GLS. The GLS is that crossover SUV that really Mercedes Benz helped create that whole crossover segment of the market more than a decade ago. Now, fast forward to the year 2020, with this GLS 450, what their plan is to go up against the BMW X7. It's to go up against the Lincoln Navigator and the Cadillac Escalade. What you're gonna find is, with the exterior and the revisions that they've done to their design overall, their design philosophy, plus the technology inside, especially when it comes to safety tech and everything else, you're gonna find a 3-row SUV that really is more than capable, plus with that all-wheel drive system is gonna get you through all sorts of different terrain to help you reach your destination. But let's go ahead and dive right into this 2020 GLS 450 4MATIC. Right off the bat, you'll see their philosophy, like I was telling you about, with design in their headlights, full LED. I mean, that's gonna be a given, but you have a very stylish daytime running lamp, and even the way that everything is styled inside the housing gives it a nice classy feel and something that looks very unique and distinctive. As we work our way down, you are gonna find some very, very large fake vents. I am gonna zonk this. I wish they would have done something different than this design. Now, I know why they did it. It was to match the grille, but I'd rather it just be smooth or just use more of this beautiful paint, to be honest with you, to kind of have the airflow. But as we come across the front, you get that massive grille. Really think that they hit the nail on the head with the design of the grille, because I really think that the smartest part are these extensions that come off of the center Mercedes Benz logo here. Gives it really extra personality, the flat silver, the shiny chrome. And then as we work our way down, you'll see the amount of shiny chrome on the lower portion as well, working with a really good amount of ground clearance for this class of SUV. Now, as we go up onto the hood, really am falling in love with it. This design that they put onto the hood, these two power bulges, really gives it a great look, but also gives it a great reference point from when you're behind the wheel to see those two peaks, to let you know where your distance is and all that. And of course, you're gonna get all that technology as you're pulling into tight spots to let you navigate this GLS 450 without bumping into anything. As we come down, I really like this style of wheel. Machined aluminum, nice metallic gray silver combination. You're looking at, these are 21-inch wheels, and this is 275. So when we say 275, we're talking about 275 on the width, 45 series on the sidewall. And I like the way that the 450 sits. Now, you do have the flat black, which some people love it, some people hate it. I think it gives it more of a rugged look for this 450, and it's clean. Nice body line follows all the way around the fender. But as we continue down the side, very slim LED turn signals, and then you're gonna get this nice brushed aluminum trim, not only on the roof rails, but also around the whole window treatment. Now, they did bring some shiny bit onto the door handles, and that's okay because it ties in nicely with what's going on in that front grille area and that lower section under the grille. And then I'm really digging the running boards on here. They just look classy. They fit the personality of this vehicle. They got some nice grip strips there to help you grip as you get in and out. And I think probably very smart the way that they just kind of curved it out just so nicely and then tapered it back in. As we keep working our way back, nice large rear quarter window. That really shows the substance of what this SUV is all about. I really like the way they flare out that brushed aluminum trim. And then even the rear fender, I mean, you can see the nice flaredness to it, really gives it a muscular look. And then out back, I think they did a great job. Very, very tall window. That's gonna help with visibility out the back. It's at a nice even slant to it, nothing too radical. Very, very low roof spoiler, kind of just blends in perfectly. You got your 4MATIC logo, all-wheel drive, chrome trim all the way from one side to the other. And as we drop down, this is the new thing that we do on Rady's Rides. It's called the muffler zonk test. I am going to take my hand, which has been sanitized and treated, and I am now going to see if this exhaust is real. Nope, that would be a failed test. That means a zonk on this decorative exhaust. It looks nice, but why put it there if it's not functional? I'd rather it just be silver trim all the way around, but the exhaust is gonna be tucked up underneath. Chrome trim matches with the front, very clean otherwise, and those LED taillights, very, very sharp. But why don't we pop the hood and see what's powering this GLS 450? All right, guys, we got the massive hood popped. Obviously, hood struts on this Mercedes-Benz. One thing that surprised me as soon as I popped the hood, carbon fiber. So you have this carbon fiber reinforcement piece here for the top portion of where the radiator resides underneath there to direct airflow. Just a nice touch. Car enthusiasts, I like little things like that. It's not finished off or anything, but it just looks good, and it's, hey, it's carbon fiber. There's that engine. Now, this being the 450, because you could get the GLS two different ways. You can get it 450 or 580. 580 is on its way, so get ready for that on Rady's Rides in a few weeks. But this 450 means that you're looking at, underneath that massive plastic cover, is a 3-liter inline-6 turbocharged engine. This has Mercedes-Benz patented EQ boost. So what that means is you're gonna get boost from an AC motor, so it works in combination off the starter generator. That's gonna give you 362 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. It's all mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Like I said earlier, that large engine cover, I'm not really loving it, but it's not the worst that I've ever seen. And it's great to have the versatility of getting two different engine options. I think with that AC connection off the starter generator and this turbocharged inline-6, it's gonna give you a nice balance of power and performance and some decent MPGs. But why don't we fire up this GLS 450 and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the all-new 2020 Mercedes Benz GLS 450. I know you're saying, Joe, I want to go and get that SUV to go up against the X7. I want to go up against the Navigator and the Escalade. I'm thinking about this one. How much is it? This one, MSRP with the options, is around $81,000. Before we go anywhere, I'm just going to automatically tear off a zonk like tearing off a Band-Aid. This My Mercedes system, I'm sure is great when you need it, but it thought that I was talking to it right now, and it was a little annoying hearing her voice while I was trying to talk to you guys. So that's something that I'm hoping that Mercedes-Benz can kind of tweak so that it's not always talking to you. But anyways, let's go to the door panels. There, she's coming back, so get ready. I'm loving what's happening. So yeah, there's a lot of dark material, but you know what? It's all nice fit, feel, and finish. I love the leather on the armrest, the stitching, the silver trim, and I think it's so great the way that they utilize the seat controls right on the door panel. These are ventilated seats, heated seats, of course, as you would expect. When we come to the dash, nice soft material. You got the contrast stitching. I really like even this nice brushed aluminum finish trim, just very, very slim. Look how slim that is, but it just gives it a nice touch, nice feel. Even brought it in to this fake looking vent over here, which I am gonna zonk that. I wish they did something rather than a fake AC vent. How about like a real AC vent? But you get two 12.3-inch screens. So we'll focus on the infotainment since we're not on the business end section, but you could obviously use your finger to scroll through all sorts of information. We could go into info. You could get all sorts of data about your GLS 450. As we toggle down, I'm really liking how they've done the AC vents. Instead of just doing the round ones, nice rectangular, rounded rectangular look, that brushed aluminum. The wood trim is looking great, and the AC controls are just so slim. Really easy to use. I think that they did a great job. As you can see, the blower fan is going right now. Gloss black. Now there is a lot of gloss black, and as you can see, yes, the dreaded fingerprints, but I do like this sliding lid here. Wireless charging. You got USB-C jacks in here. 2 cup holders, which is great to see. That's a nice extra touch. And then look, the best part is that you just close it, and then it's just 1, 2, 3, nice and clean. You have your mouse pad. If you don't want to touch the screen, you have your mouse pad that you could navigate through that. This is for, obviously, for your hand to rest your palm. Camera views. Tons of different camera views that you could access. So there we are out the front. Let me lower this blower speed a little bit. There we are at the front. We could go around. Just takes a second. There we are over here. We go there. So lots of different ways out back. Lots of different camera angles is always a plus. You can go into different modes, of course. You could go into quick access to shut things off, turn them on, whether it's the safety features you want to shut off or other features in here. So that's really nice and easy to use. You also can adjust all sorts of things like the ride height with your GLS 450. Now, as we work our way back, I'm really digging these two grab handles here. They sit kind of high, but it's kind of nice to have that there, especially for your passengers if you're going to take this $81,000 SUV off-road. But very nice touches and material. And then I really always dig the Bombay doors on the Mercedes Benz products. You have another USB-C in here, little tiny cubby for some snacks. I'm going to say probably if you take your Twinkies and stand them up, you probably get about almost 8 in there. So GLS 450 if you're into Twinkies, or 3 bananas, your choice. Healthy, not so healthy. And then the seats, soft leather. This has the optional Napa leather. They're ventilated and heated. I like the gray contrast stitching, and of course they're going to be fully adjustable like I showed you on the door. And you're getting 3 memory settings for the passenger and for the driver, and a standard sunroof. Now, panoramic is optional. I think at $81,000, I would like to see the panoramic sunroof now on this one. So that is going to be a zonk for 81 grand, no panoramic sunroof. But why don't you come over to the business end? I'll show you behind the wheel of this GLS 450. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of this all-new GLS 450. Let me show you the key fob before you blast me in the comment section that I did not show you the key fob. That's the new style from Mercedes Benz. It's got a great look to it. I like the Mercedes Benz logo in the center there, but I'll put this down so we could talk about how I feel right now sitting here. 6 feet tall, adjustability for the seats, 3 memory settings. Even with the sunroof, I got plenty of headroom. I'm glad they went with a lighter headliner with all the black material in here. Steering wheel, I love it. It's not flat bottom, but I still love the thickness, the shape. The leather has a nice soft feel. I would like to see gray contrast stitching. I think that would have been the smarter move for Mercedes to put that stitching in here, since there's gray stitching everywhere else. But I like the silver, and I'm really digging to the thumb pads here that you can navigate through all sorts of stuff. Now, you do have these small plastic shifters on the back, which I would like to see those be aluminum or another material. The wood carries all the way over, and then there's your dash, 12.3-inch screen. You could toggle through all sorts of information. So you got clock becomes a speedometer. Speedometer becomes where it shows your direction. It shows the incline of the road and whatnot. Keep on scrolling. There's your radio control, route schedule, all in one gauge there. And then in the center, you could also change that. So there's lots of changeability and setup to this overall system, utilizing the steering wheel controls. My zonk is, for such a large vehicle, the start-stop button is probably the size of in between a quarter and a dime, and it's a little bit on the low side. I like the way this is all finished in silver, but the problem is this is all like black plastic on this side. I wish they would have went with that silver trim where the start-stop button is. But why don't we go ahead? We talked about up front. Let's see how the mid-row passengers are going to be loving this GLS 450. All right, guys, we're in the mid-row of the GLS 450. I'm liking the space here. I'm not going to lie. My only complaint is why do they keep putting small armrests on captain's chairs? I know you guys tell me so people could pass through. No. When the vehicle is in motion, nobody's passing through. So I would like to see these a little wider, especially for Tom. Tom's arm is about 4 of these. So I guess we'll have to get 4 and then zip tie them together. But other than that, they're very, very comfortable. You're going to use the door controls, just like for up front, for those mid-row passengers as well. So obviously they're going to recline. They're going to slide forward and backwards and everything. Backs of the seats, you have some softer material. I'm zonking this though. These cargo nets, why are they putting cargo nets on an $81,000 car? So that is a zonk. I do though like the command center here. You got your rear AC, 2 cup holders, your AC controls, And then watch this, you push that, look at that. Now we're talking, we got USB-C and a home power source all in one shot, and a place you can fill this up with your favorite candies. I mean, somebody brought up, well, if you put peanuts in there, won't they get like dirty? Well, clean it and then put the peanuts in there, and then you're gonna clean it again and then put more. So I like that. Nice setup. Seats are great, very comfortable, lots of headroom. Let's go ahead though. We're gonna go and try to fit 6-foot Joe Rady in that third row. All right, guys, time to get into that third row. One thing I want to point out is there's a button right at the top of the back seat, of the mid-row seat. You just pull on that and it's all electric assist. I'm gonna zonk it right off the bat. There's not enough landing space for someone's foot to actually get into the back. If you notice, it's like I almost have to round it around the edge. To me, that's a big issue, not only so somebody could get in and out of properly without tripping over themselves, but also all this carpet is gonna be torn to shreds by your kids. Their shoes all dirty, muddy, maybe they're wearing their cleats. It would have been nice if they had a more flat landing pad area for their foot and there was more plastic. Normally I wouldn't ask for more plastic on a car, but at least have a larger space here that's plastic so you're not ripping up the carpet. But if you're ready, I'm ready. I'm gonna go ahead and get into the back. So climbing in is actually pretty easy. That seat is very, very far forward. Sitting back here feels great. Remember to make sure to pull up those headrests, because I once got into one of these and just kind of jammed myself back in. I'm like, yeah, here we go. And it kind of hurt having that right in between my back where my shoulder blades are. It just really, really hurt. But anyways, I'm happy to say Mercedes Benz took care of you with tech. You have your USB-Cs, 2 of them here, 2 of them on the other side, cup holders. Seats feel pretty good. And being 6 feet tall, I'm sitting totally upright. I'm not hunched over one bit. And this is where those larger rear quarter windows come into play. I got a lot of nice light and I could see outside. Here's my big complaint. Are they out of their mind? There's no AC vents back here for the third row. Now there's 2 in that center area, that command center that I showed you earlier, and there's also 2 in the pillars for the mid row, but there's literally no AC. So that to me is like an out of your mind major zonk. What were they thinking? I don't understand that. But I know you're gonna ask, let's go ahead and put the seat back. You can see electric, just make sure you move your feet out of the way or they're gonna be crushed. It's a little on the slower side. And I'll have Tom come swing it back in. There's actually plenty of leg room. I don't feel cramped at all. Plus also my knees aren't in my mouth. My only problem is I'm sweating. I'm sweating back here because it's a long drive and I can't feel that AC there. Maybe they should have an optional like little portable AC on a string and they could have it like sit on my lap or something. But that to me is, I'm not gonna let that zone go. That's a big one. But let's go ahead, check out the cargo area and see how usable this GLS 450 is. All right guys, time to check out the rear cargo area on this GLS 450. What I love about Mercedes is that they don't hide the button anywhere. It's just like right here, you click that, it rises very quickly, and I'm quite impressed with the amount of room, even with that third row up, the amount of room that we have, very nicely done. Now to get those seats to fold down, if you notice there's some buttons over here, one that says 3L, 3R, obviously L and R is left and right, and 3 is the third row. So you're just gonna push it once. You gotta wait for it. So you can probably make yourself a cup of coffee or something. Eventually they drop down, and then I'll move this out of the way so Tom can show you just how much space there is with that third row down. So if you don't need it, you're really gonna have some maximum space. And then I know another thing people wanna see, hey, what's under the cover? Let's see what we have today. There is your spare setup, nicely placed, easy to get to. Close it up. You could even store a couple things on both sides of it if you want to hide something from the kids. Maybe they've been doing really good in school, which I hope they are. You doing your homework, kids? You could have a nice surprise so that when you get home, nobody knows it's back there. And then time to close it up. Boom, it drops down. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this GLS 450 for a spin. All right, guys, we have left Crown Eurocars. We're in the 2020 GLS 450. This vehicle weighs in around 5,300 pounds. And remember, at the end of the day, you're looking at MPGs around 19 in the city and 23 on the highway. Driving it, I feel like it doesn't feel as large as you would think, which is surprising because after driving the BMW X7, being behind the wheel of that car, it feels large. Obviously, an Escalator or Navigator definitely feels large. This one, though, does not feel so bad. It really, because it surprises you. You feel like it's smaller, and then you look up in the rearview mirror to see out the back, and that rear glass is pretty far from where you're sitting. But overall, I love the placement and everything. You know, a lot of people keep asking me, hey, Joe, is there a lot of glare on those 12.3-inch screens? I don't know what type of voodoo magic Mercedes-Benz did, but there's really nothing on it that's glaring it. So very surprising that you can see it so clear, but I love it. I love the large navigation that's up. You could change all of the different gauge setups that are right in front of you to give you all sorts of information. So being able to personalize this vehicle to your taste is a piece of cake. Driving, love the position. Seats feel great. I got the ventilated seats on, feeling really good. Getting on the binders, come to a nice stop, feels really smooth. And this is where it's gonna get a little surprising, everybody. Let me go ahead and get on throttle. I'm telling you right now, this thing has some pep to it. With that electric assist, it really, and the straight, you know, obviously a straight six, turbocharged straight six, for a vehicle that weighs 5,300 pounds, it's got some get up and go to it. Back on throttle. Remember that 4MATIC keeping us planted. Got a decent sound coming into the cabin too, which is nice. Really smooth, really smooth. Brakes feel good. I like the way everything is placed control-wise. Of course, it's gonna take a little bit of time to really be able to navigate through the infotainment system without looking at it. But overall, it feels really good. On throttle again, drops down that 9-speed automatic. Very intense shifts, I can tell you that right now. Very deliberate on the brakes, into this right-hand bend. Let's see how she handles here. Wow, no featherweight, but still doing the business. Thank you, Mercedes-Benz. I'm shocked by the acceleration of this thing. I can't wait to get my hands on the V8 powered one. Look at this, this is nice. Little bit of float, but that's to be expected. This is an SUV that's not meant for taking to the racetrack, but I just like to put it through its paces to see what are the capabilities of it. And it's actually very surprising. Very surprising. I think the one zonk in the overall driving experience is the 9-speed hits pretty hard when you lay on the loud pedal. And it's pretty sharp, that downshift. But other than that, all the other shifts feel really deliberate and smooth. Look at the handling on this thing. This is great. Holds a line very nice. Back on the binders. And this isn't an AMG product, so we're not even talking about AMG style products. This is your GLS 450, 4MATIC. Acceleration from a dead stop, drops down, nose comes up, and we're off. Wow. Very surprising. I am definitely surprised by the acceleration of this GLS 450. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in manual mode. I'm gonna shift with the paddles now as we go one more time through the twisty bits. Wow. Having it in manual mode really lets you take advantage of the gearing of each of the gears. It's surprising. It's really surprising. So here we go. First gear on throttle, second, third, on the brakes, downshift in the second. Very nice, holding the line great. Really smooth, wow, really smooth. So shifting with the paddles, is actually, this isn't a DCT transmission, but the shifts are pretty quick for an automatic, and they're very, like I said, deliberate, and you're off and you're running. So really nicely done. I like the view over the hood. Those two power bulges that I showed you on the outside, I really like the way it gives the hood some nice definition, and overall looks really great. All right, guys. You know, one other thing I want to touch on is just the level of fit and finish in here is very, very high. I also like how quiet it is. It's like submarine quiet because of the great sound deadening material that they use, the insulation, the thickness of the windows. Really nice, nicely done by Mercedes. And I think that you definitely need to take one of these for a spin, because the acceleration alone is going to surprise the heck out of you. But we're gonna go ahead, hopefully this gave you an overall good feel of the GLS 450. We're gonna wrap this up and get back to Crown Euro Cars, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another wonderful day here at Crown Euro Cars. Definitely gotta thank Bianca and the rest of the crew for allowing us access to this brand new 2020 GLS 450 4MATIC. If you're in the market for a high-end upscale SUV, you might wanna take a serious look if you're gonna go down the street to BMW, Lincoln, or Cadillac. But if it's things like this you wanna see on Ready's Rise, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, click that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Ready's Rise family. Make sure that if you want to help us keep creating this great content just for you, click the link in the description, get yourself some Ready's Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee. He's getting ready for his weightlifting competition. He's actually, powerlifting competition. He's actually been strapping some weights to his body while he's filming just to prepare himself. So thank you, Tom, for all your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.